awesome the modifiers are. All right, here's the keyboard. We'll take a look at this in a second. We got some, I believe these are the gaskets or feet. And then we have our aluminum plate. And then we also have a polycarbonate plate, which is interesting because I think I kind of want to use the alu. We're going to be using Nixies today. And I used a new spring that I've used once before, which are the grave shift springs. All right, so let's take a look at the joint really quick. So this is 150 bucks, by the way, guys. 150. We got a badge over here. It's a PVD badge. 150 US. PVD weight on the back. This is going to be changed. Although I don't like this font. So glad that they're changing this. This typeface is kind of ass. I'm not going to lie. Here's what I do love about this, though. I've already very much familiarized myself with this. It has, you guys can't really see it right now. It has side pieces that you can take off and on, which is crazy cool. So you can buy different side pieces. And I love the way that the back wraps up over here. And then I love the way that it wraps up on the front too. I think it looks pretty nice. And the whole point of this board is to keep it, you know, relatively cheap. How is it so cheap? From what I understand in their group buy IC thread type thing, they just mentioned that they used a lot of easy to machine corners and stuff like that. Also has a bit of like a kind of a frame, kind of like what we saw on the, what was that other keyboard called with the same kind of, the Ginkgo? The nice thing about this seam is it kind of wraps around into this design element, which is kind of nice. So I kind of like it. Very basic box on wedge. Seam sits a little bit higher. That's totally cool. But yeah, pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie, like this is not a bad looking board over here. Now there is some other changes that went into this board as well. And you'll see when we take it apart, one of the things is pretty immediate and you can kind of see it right now. There's flex cuts in this PCB. For the final round of this has been completely taken off from what I understand. The weight looks a bit dirty. Oh, it's because I need to take off the shit. Do you want to do, should we do that now? I'll do that later. Flex cuts have been removed for the final one, which is nice. Nice to hear because yeah, I'm a little bit sick of flex cuts on everything. Like leaf ping? I don't know. We'll have to see if those have leaf ping. I don't know when I'm going to use those. But yeah, I kind of like the design. Design's nice in this. For 150, I'm happy with this overall design. I think this is pretty cool. I still quite don't understand how they're getting away with 150 on this because a badge, you know, it has technically, these are pieces you can unscrew, I believe, too, right? So pretty crazy. It does have a piece of silicone on the top too. We don't have to put this in. I'm gonna take this apart now too. The thing with the silicone piece, I've seen it used in matrix boards. I've never quite liked it, but again, that's gonna be very, very much personal preference. I think the silicone kind of dampens the sound, which is, I mean, it's cool that they're adding that at the very least. I appreciate it. 150 is mad, profit margin must be tight. Yeah, it's really cool that they're doing this. I can't speak on profit margin or anything. These are actually, dude, there's like, sometimes you get screws in keyboards. It's just a me thing where the screws are super easy to unscrew. And I love that. It just feels good unscrewing it. Where are they selling it? Thok Supply is one of the vendors, and I believe Keebs for All is the other. I'm not too sure about all the regional vendors. So here's our top frame, pretty simple. And this is probably where they're getting some more of their, that's actually a really interesting design. How does this all work? Well, I want to take this apart. So we have a little piece of silicone here, which I'm not going to use this. FR4 plate too, but I think I want to stick with the alu plate. Although FR4 kind of sounds nice too. I don't know. I'm not sold on it yet. Do you guys want me to use this piece of silicone? So the silicone, they actually have like an explanation. Hold on, let me open something up really quickly. Offers slightly more compression of sound, I assume. So it probably does compress the sound a little bit. Again, I've used this on the on the Matrix keyboard. So it says optional. We don't have to use it. So I'm probably not. Just take it out. Okay, we'll see. Let's take this out. Here's the bottom of our keyboard. And you can see this is where we can unscrew. This is a nice color, actually. This is where we unscrew the side pieces, and you can buy different sides, which is pretty awesome. I respect that. That's cool. Adds another little way you can customize this.
Hope you're doing well.
More an orange, not really a peach. Would you guys classify this as a peach color? I mean, for 150, this looks pretty awesome. I do think this looks nice. All right, here's the PCB. We're gonna use foam for this. The final PCB is not gonna have flex cuts at all, which I'm very grateful for that decision. Would love to have built this with, no flex cuts, but it's definitely excessive. I think this is a lot of excessive flex cuts. The traces are whatever. I don't like, it doesn't really bug me none, but yeah, definitely not the biggest fan. Which sparks another whole discussion too. Some people are very upset about the whole flex cuts being not liked as much trend, which I'm a little bit shocked by, because at first when we're building these things and we're kind of stuffing them as intended by the manufacturer, as intended by the person who designed it with foam, and it sounds good and all, because it does, flex cuts do sound good with foam. I think people fail to realize that it doesn't take it takes some time to recognize our preferences and stuff like that. And also I was always curious why some boards sounded so thin and hollow. And then when I realized it was the flex cuts, I'm like, ooh, these actually offer less than ideal circumstances for building the keyboard that I like. So these are the M1 stabilizers. So they have higher walls to combat, from what I read, to combat the, what's it called? Wobble of the stem, which apparently affects wire rattle, which I'm not too sure about. Truly, is you're gonna throw this away. It looks nice, in theory, be like, oh yeah, look at this plastic box that I got. You're gonna toss this. I don't think, maybe, even this piece of foam here at the bottom, what would you use this for? That's kind of my problem with packaging like this. It's neat, but I would have just preferred a cardboard box that I can go and easily recycle and stuff. Yeah, you could maybe find some use for this for another reason, but the packaging is the way they kind of presented everything in this foam is pretty, for sure. Definitely pretty. Lining up the first switch with hot swap is always the weirdest to me. There we go. I think Dandy might look cute on this. The Nixies look so good in this though. Look at that. Doesn't that look great? It's like a render from this angle. All right, let's put this all together. I am going to put that, just in case. I don't think we actually need it, but just in case, I'm going to put this guy here down. It's a little piece of, so it doesn't short. I appreciate that this is in the box, truthfully. I do. I appreciate it. And then let's just put this guy in. Let's put this guy here down. So this kind of acts as a little pseudo seal. This gasket, this piece of mid-plate foam. So the mid-plate foam is mandatory on this build. And it kind of does the same thing like the KBD Fans Tiger 80, which kind of seals everything around. Not tightly, but it does add some seal there. Again, very cool looking case. And this is going to be 150. I really like the way the front looks. I like how the back, the color here just kind of wraps up. I know I already said that at the beginning, but I do think that looks nice. All right, let's screw this together. Looks amazing for that price? Yes. Did they send you copper sides as well? No, I think, I don't know, was there silver sides? I think silver with this color combo for the sides would look so sick as well. I was looking at all the colors and stuff prior to streaming. It is gonna change. The typeface is changing to something a lot cleaner looking than this. Because this does not suit the board. I'm so glad that that's a change they're making, because I think it's in their album on the IC or something like that now. Because this is an ugly typeface, I'm not gonna lie. It's a super ugly typeface. Why not the design on the top left? Exactly, why not put that in the back too? Agree. A non-shiny weight in the back. You know, you say that and I kind of agree too. PVD weights are fun, and I've said this for a long time. PVD weights are cool. Preference thing again. But I almost prefer like a matte finish to things. Or just a standard brass sandblasted. I don't know when this became a thing. A lot of brass weights have been sandblasted recently and like clear coated. I kind of miss the days of the non-clear coated brass, so if things can patina. I like if I put my thumb on print, I'm holding the board, then my oils, my fingers kind of patina the weight. I love that. I don't know why, it feels like not a lot of boards take advantage of that cool feature about brass. Okay, we'll do the peel now. We'll do the peel. Hold on, we'll do it from this angle. Okay, we'll do it from this angle works, I guess. Oh, it needs to be cleaned. It needs to be wiped down because there's a little bit of adhesive there, but cool. All right, let's put some keycaps on this bad boy. Yeah, 150 for all this. Honestly, not bad. I'm hoping this sounds good too. Cool little board on a budget. Hold on, I forgot to peel this one here off too. Yeah, like why didn't they just put this logo on the back? This would have been way cooler on the back than... Well, the blocker kind of works here. I like the positioning of it too. Side profile's looking nice. Piece of hair there, but side profile's looking okay. I like it. Again, we're gonna keep this in mind too, but I'm also not gonna keep this in mind because I'm gonna judge this just on its own, and then we'll also look at the price point. It's $150. This is not bad. You get a two color thing over here. The finish, mine is a little bit of a, like, I don't know, these are my fingerprints. Actually, no, I didn't mean to say this at the beginning too. There was some like fingerprints on this, but again, this is my prototype unit, so this could have been like handled weird. Probably just need to wipe it down, but I like the two color, like the two tone of this. This is really cool that you can take off these little side pieces here and swap them out for a different color. I kind of think a like silver would be super neat on this, but you can buy those separately. I think they're about 20 Canadian for those. I don't know how much they are USD. But here's the back over here. USB is slightly inset, so it's quite nice to see that too. I believe this is the HTUN. I don't know how to pronounce that properly, so I'm not gonna try and butcher it at the same time. I think that might be part of the studio. I don't think this was the studio. I'm not too sure what that is supposed to be over here. But again, the back profile is quite nice too. I like how it raises up. You get that color all the way up there too. The front is my favorite. I love how it kind of wraps up. You can see it as you're looking on your desk too, which is awesome. Really like that. And then the top profile. It has a bit of a border around it too. Kind of like the Ginkgo. Put the music back on. So just sort of like the Ginkgo, it has a bit of like a border on the top, which gives it some visual interest. I'm not gonna lie, that visual thing is not my favorite thing in the world, but it does give it some visual interest. So I will give it that. Pretty cool. Just need to wipe down all the PVD things. As you guys saw, you need to use the mid plate foam. Those are your gaskets, the pseudo gaskets, whatever you want to call them. And then we have an aluminum plate on this. There's no bottom foam. We're using cherry Nixies and the M1 stabilizers. Now this is using a flex cut PCB. This may sound a little thinner in our sound demo here. Hopefully the final group eye is not gonna have any flex cuts. So let's see how this will sound. It's actually pretty solid, yeah. It's thin. It's definitely thinner. Again, I'm hoping the it will, because we've seen it on the QK80. I think the spacebar sounds quite nice. All the mods sound good. I think this will only be accentuated on the final group buy. Again, it would have been nice to see how the non-flex cut PCB performed. Definitely more on the foamy sound signature thing, it's kind of side of things too. Alphas compared to the spacebar, it's actually kind of jarring how like awesome the modifiers are. Can we hear it without the mouse pad? Yeah, of course. Kind of jarring how awesome the modifiers are and then how thin the alphas are. But again, that's probably just because those excessive amount of flex cuts. Actually sounds pretty awesome with no, actually, wow. Wow, sounds actually really good with a dust pad on it, not gonna lie. It's still thin though, Durian's right. We're not gonna take away that it is thinner on the alphas. The stabs are good too. Those M1 stabs, again, any stab can be very, very good if you put enough work into it. This is built with Nixies, correct. My thoughts, honest thoughts, alphas, definitely on the thinner side. I truly think, because it's already been put in motion for how it's going to be changed, the non-flex cut version will probably sound a lot better. So if you are interested in this board, you know, don't fret too much, because the non-flex cut version should be a lot better sounding too. Would love to try a non-flex cut PCB for this. How does it compare to the more premium boards like Chimera and Forever? What's up, Drifting? The Forever is pretty awesome, not gonna lie, Drifting. The Chimera is pretty good too. I think the Chimera though, the Chimera has a certain aesthetic that you have to love. That's how I feel about the Chimera, but it's a solid keyboard. Once you get rid of the flex cuts here, I think you're gonna have a very solid keyboard for 150 bucks. So, not bad. Aesthetic wise though, this is pretty awesome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Love you guys. And say hi to Mr. Bullets for us. Peace out, everybody. It's actually pretty solid, yeah.